Hello, and a very warm welcome to a brand new and exciting episode of Simply Electric, this time featuring the incredible Porsche Macan Turbo. Turbo means in overboost 639 horsepower, 3.3 seconds from 0 to 100 and 260 kilometers per hour top speed. All that in an electric SUV coupe that measures 4.78 meters in length, and we'll try to find out if this turbo setup is really worth the additional cost of about 30 kilos. Compared to the Porsche Macan 4 value, you've surely seen the video including the fuel consumption drive, and we want to give you valuable tips on whether such a turbo is really worth the turbo surcharge. I'd say you check if you're part of the electric community. If not, we'd obviously be happy if you support us with a cost-free subscription. That helps us out a lot. And if you hit the bell, folks, you'll also get a notification and won't miss any new videos on the channel in the future. Let's begin our journey with the Porsche Macan Turbo right here at the Porsche Center located in Magdeburg. And as always, we start from the outside, start from the front, and take a look at the front section of the new all-electric Macan. Yes, the old internal combustion engine was sold over 850,000 times, and now the new fully electric one has to take over. And I think this will also be a trendsetter for Porsche as to whether they can fully electrify their entire lineup, which later includes the Cayenne and Panamera as well, or not. The Turbo is, of course, just one car representing approximately 2 or 3.5% of the 860,000, and to maintain that, and so you can distinguish yourselves with a Turbo, which is priced about 30 kilos more than the Market 4 we showed you, it has some specifications that are exclusive to the Turbo. Essentially, it's the front part which gets its own turbo look, and I find that extremely important. That it's not something you can just get by purchasing a sport design package or anything like that, but that a turbo truly is a turbo. And Porsche has also come up with a new color, Turbo Night. You can see it here very, very nicely, also on the new Porsche emblem in Turbo Night. And then, of course, in Turbo Knit, just the way you want it, you always have nice accents, like here with the air curtains, which are supposed to better direct the air and aerodynamics around the wheel wells. Yes, all beautifully painted. That's theoretically available for all. And strikingly, at an extra cost, I think it's very chic. Also here, a slight widening compared to the base. Also beautifully painted in deep black metallic. And deep black metallic is indeed my favorite color, you know?
Of course, black works.
And the cool thing is, it's almost like Aston Martin. Look at how many metallic gray particles are in there. That looks absolutely mega, mega sexy. An awesome clear coat on top. And I think the extra cost compared to basic black is definitely worth it. Yes, we have here him on winter tires with a more or less stylish rim in a kind of 5-spoke design, a bit crossed here, black glossy, high gloss polished, is familiar with it from the Macan 42V5, 45R21 tires. Yes, it can always be slightly more performant, don't you think?
Yes, performant?
Perhaps he wants to save a little something for the summer season, right? Right, exactly. Yes, let's take a look at the back. There we're on the Macan. 4255s here on the Turbo as well. And that's something I find really cool. It's always available in exterior color, as you can see here in deep black, along with this plastic cap. Looks more upscale right away. The side skirt is nicely painted in deep black metallic below, with glossy black above. I think the series is black matte, and then you can choose whether it's glossy or silver colored as an option. Doesn't it look cohesive overall?
Sure thing.
And with that, the Macan Turbo also becomes, I think, if it lacked these polished surfaces on the rim, a kind of black beauty or black beast.
Absolutely, indeed, yes.
Handling the black beast truly requires real power. We'll soon be checking in the detailed report if the Macan Turbo provides that much-needed boost, or if it unfortunately ends up falling short of expectations. Yes, back here a nice continuous LED light strip, then Porsche nicely drawn in matte black here. Looks way, way cooler, I think, especially compared to when it's just white. Or there's also glacier blue metallic. Then, of course, in turbo format, you can also get the turbo in glossy black, or I'd recommend just removing it. Why? Because everyone knows you're driving a turbo. Why? Because it has a unique rear end, specifically here with the hinted air outlets. Looks much fatter than look over there when you pan to the Macan 4 in aventurine green metallic. That's what it was on the 911, an awesome color. It looks like a baby Porsche, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
That looks like a real performance, doesn't it?
Yes, but you say the connoisseur knows, right?
The connoisseur knows and the connoisseur recognizes that here, also at the rear section with the diffuser, making everything appear a bit sportier, a bit more performance-oriented. As mentioned, respecting every euro, it sometimes costs 30 kilos more, you know? From 84 Basemarks H4 to 114 with turbo, you know?
Yeah, you got this.
Of course, what's not supposed to be on a turbo is a big fat shark fin. That's why they left them out. It might cost a little more to integrate all that into the bodywork and the side mirrors. However, it certainly looks far more stylish. And what you can choose, of course, is whether you'd prefer to have a rear wiper or if you prefer not to have one. But without it just looks so brutal, right? Yeah.
Neat.
All right, and when we extend the rear spoiler, which I'm about to do for you right now, it just looks even more incredibly fierce. Doesn't that appear a tad bit beefier now? Well, I'll say when it zips past you, you definitely know it's in aggro mode because you can set it to a higher level at higher speeds that you get even more downforce on the rear axle. Let's be honest, with 639 horsepower in overboost, I think it's not a bad idea, right?
Definitely not.
Let's move on to the technical data. It is 4.78 meters long, 1.93 meters wide, plus side mirrors means 2 meters. He stands 1 meter 62 tall for comparison. I am 1 meter 85 in height, and the wheelbase measures at 2 meters 89. Between the wheelbase is the battery pack with a gross capacity of 100 kilowatt hours, of which you can use 75 kilowatt hours net. This also results in the overall weight of the vehicle reaching the EU standard of 2.4 tons. It's charged back here, provided you have the electric tailgate. Then again, I think it's standard on the turbo model, but I'm not entirely sure. Otherwise, I believe it costs 570 euros extra for the Type 2 connection to alternating current AC with 3-phase 11 kilowatts or DC at the fast charger, which can handle up to 270 kilowatts. That means it charges from 10 to 80% in around 23 minutes. We can reveal this. Measured during our test drive with the Macan 4, the battery pack goes from 10 to 80%. Yeah, many people always wonder, with the Taycan, man, why does the Taycan have so much more power? Sure! Yes, here we've got CATL batteries with compatible cell chemistry at 800 volts. In the Taycan, new LG batteries with a different cell chemistry allow a peak of 320 kilowatts and charge from 10 to 80%, even with a 5 kilowatt hour larger battery in 17 minutes. So he's 5 minutes faster, but Stefan says that's just a cigarette's length. A cigarette long? What of the non-smoker?
I don't know.
I'm having a piece of chocolate. Okay, by the way, something I really find cool about the Macan is if you quickly come after me, Stefan, because time is indeed a precious resource. On the passenger side, there's the electric tailgate feature for gently wiping across, ideally if it works smoothly and without smearing the paint. Maybe he won't now as the other hatch might be open, I don't know. Anyway, there's also a second Type 2 connection, which I find really cool because if you're charging here on the side, at a public charging station or have your wall box in a garage, then it would fit perfectly. It's really bothering me now that it won't work. What's going on with this, Porsche?
Not doing you favors, is it?
No, somehow it doesn't want to. I think it's being stubborn because the other side is open. But it worked with Macan 4, right?
Absolutely correct.
Well, he's just acting up. He's just now look.
He would yell then.
Oh, I think I swiped it incorrectly. Yeah.
Backs up.
My goodness, there it is again, the persistent application error. Oh, Lord Sacramento. Oh, Bornman, come on. How else can you recognize a Porsche driver?
At the key.
Yes, and there he is again. Look, turbonate. So if you ever see a turbonate on the table somewhere, like it's grey and not colored, then you know exactly the guy who owns this key here, which otherwise looks the same. It has a turbo, right? Impressive. And left 30 kilos at Porsche. Definitely. Cleaned at no extra charge. The push for luck is then the frunk. And inside, you'll not only find a chic microfiber cloth and a charging cable, but also 84 liters of storage space. That means 84 liters more storage space that you can later add to the trunk's storage volume. And isn't that actually a totally brilliant story, right?
Yeah, that's almost like a carry-on luggage trick, isn't it?
And everything nicely finished with rubber seals lined with carpet, just as you would expect from a Porsche, right?
Exactly.
Let's proceed with the hood check on the Macan 4 since it hasn't been properly closed yet. There's less wind now than this morning.
3, 2, 1, and here we go.
See, it does work.
Well, yeah, it's the perfect height, whether that's a cookie shelf from the burger or something.
Chip stand.
Perfect.
Yes, let's move on to the trunk, and with that, the rear luggage compartment of the Porsche Macan Turbo, which can be opened here with the button or with the comfort access, sensor controlled of course. And in this case, we have a capacity of 480 liters for the Turbo as per the datasheet, which indeed is 60 liters less. I don't even know why, because everything here kind of feels the same as in the Macan 4. Less, right?
Yeah, kind of weird.
We need to really look into this again since we have the Bose audio system, which was also in the Macan 4. And we also carefully read off the datasheet. I don't know if when Bose is included, it might generally mean 60 liters less because we lose those 60 liters through the bar loss in the loading floor here.
Perhaps.
Definitely. It's also so curious. I forgot about the Macan 4. If you want mesh nets here and they're good there, like on the side.
They're very emissive.
Package shelves. Storage package, I think 2.96 or something. Let's not talk about it because no one understands why a Macan Turbo, which costs 114 base, still has to pay for a storage package. First, you have the ability to shift a full 20% towards the center area. I need to reach into the center armrest because the release mechanism is cleverly hidden inside there. And that's really quite important for everyone who might be looking to transport skis or any other long objects. Fold the middle nicely with 20% of the width. Then you have here spring pre-tensioned, the driver's side also again with 40%. And with the spring pre-tensioned, the passenger side is also at 40%. This way, when it connects back with the center armrest, you end up with a nice, nearly flat loading surface.
Yeah, that's good. You can place land inside.
Parcel shelf can be removed, and strangely, it doesn't hold 1,348 liters now. But even then, only 1,278 liters or 88 liters or so.
That's like everything for such an amount.
At times, understanding how all the various aspects connect with the manufacturers can be quite perplexing. After 4.5 long years, I've honestly just stopped making any effort to worry about it. Yes.
Sometimes it's just not worth asking at all.
Yes, everything here is well made with fabric, beautifully anodized aluminum. There's something over it now. Friends, where you really face issues, as shown with Macan, is this plastic. He's just super sensitive. Look, there's another dent here. Someone's definitely knocked into it. Or it's dirt. And the same down here on the sides. That's just how it is here. Look, 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 look. That's a brand new car. It's already dented here. Do you see that?
It's also scratchy for the other person.
So that's no dirt either. See, I can't get it off. I just asked Porsche with such pricey cars. We also have a price here, I think, of 126 kilos or something. So nice again for 12 extras included. I'm expecting something durable to last.
Sure, yeah.
Porsche is known for its lasting durability and reliability.
Surely.
In any case, you can optionally get the retractable trailer hitch if it unfolds and comes out. Here you go. It pulls up, you've got 80 kilograms of tongue weight and up to 2 tons of braked towing capacity regardless of the engine. By the way, for all the friends who are going to make fun in the comments again, it doesn't even have a turbo. Turbo is just kind of a Porsche designation for the top model.
Sure, yes.
In electromobility, do we keep the term turbo or use a different one?
We shall see soon.
I'd say with the Taycan, there's also Turbo S, regular turbo, Turbo GT with Weissach package, without Weissach package. It's Porsche, you know? Yeah, when it comes to electric,
Shots electric.
you want to think it is like that. Nice and smooth, and then hopefully with a soft close at the bottom. Yeah, nicely pulled over, nice. Yeah, nice. Optionally, you can get a roof rail. With roof rails, a 75-kilo roof rack is available.
Okay.
Without roof rails, no roof rack?
Probably not. Will be hard to shift it otherwise.
Share your thoughts in the comments. Sadly, I don't know now. We've shown outside. Let's move inside. And unlike the Macan 4, here we have the wonderful double glazing. 2 panes combined with a film, also providing insulating glass. That's an awesome story. I had the same experience in the EQS. When the sun shines in during the summer, you don't get that heat effect. When the pane allows the sunlight to filter in, which is truly great in the summer season, yet it keeps the heat outside.
That's cool, yeah.
And so the car doesn't heat up quite as much. Yes, we have everything you need on board here. With leather package and all the bells and whistles, that means nice leather up here, also with a seam. We have the ambient lighting, then we have a softer plastic here. Here again a softer plastic, then here again leather. The setup here is relatively firm, but honestly, it's all analogous to the Macan 4, except I think we had a different color set there.
Precisely right.
I believe lemon green first and then maybe red afterwards, but here it's configured to be blue. Yeah, I find the combination of materials to be somewhat borderline.
Yeah, it's kind of not really Porsche-like, is it?
Well, I've been driving Porsche for over 20 years now, mostly the 911, but everything's kind of leather in those. Getting the full leather package here, about 3.6 kilos more. I expect better since it's still hard plastic.
That's already nice.
Here's a rubber mat, here's a carpet, so nothing rustles and nothing rattles. A larger bottle fits in here too. Up here there's another compartment that could hold an umbrella, just like in a Skoda. So, by the way, something cool. I think that's nice too. Here's a Macan Turbo, like in black aluminum and anodized. You can see that one has 30 kilos extra.
Yeah, even here, even on the footprints there is again.
However, do you notice the hard plastic here once again? Oh, Porsche. A warm welcome to the luxurious interior of the Porsche Macan Turbo. Everything up here is nicely upholstered from the leather package. Let's proceed in order. We have here the augmented reality head-up display for a good 2 kilograms, which shows you about 10 meters down the road and in the size of an 87-inch TV. I have 98 inches in the living room. It's large and very impressive, including navigation, directional arrows, various assistive systems, and lane-keeping support features. Through the window, sadly, we likely can't show you this in the video, but I'll test it for you later during the drive report and then share it with you both visually and audibly. Here in the center is the curved display, familiar from the Taycan and new Cayenne. In the new Macan, completely electric, and then a really beautiful, oh, so very soft. That feels really awesome. Multifunction steering wheel finally in GT design. In the Macan 4, I showed you the standard here with GT. And then he really treated himself, the configurator, more carbon, right? It's quite classy, isn't it?
Again, turbonites appear on the logo.
Exactly, Stefan noticed it. That's how you recognize the turbo part in Turbonit here in the logo. Very, very cool. I have to say, it definitely appears a bit more premium. That's the only thing I'm unable to fully understand. I guess someone forgot to order the carbon interior package because otherwise you'd probably have it here too. The side panels are in carbon, and here below on the instrument panel, there's no skimping. There's no carbon here either, so just on the steering wheel, looks almost a bit lost. Well, we need to figure out the configurator here at the Porsche Center Magdeburg. Maybe it was pre-configured as a company car and was delivered here, because that's a bit odd.
Sure, indeed.
Yeah, what we definitely have here is the Sport Design package, but not with the classic gauge, instead with the Porsche design clock. Got them in the 911, very chic.
It is quite chic, yeah.
I think in the 911 it costs some nice extra charge. I wouldn't spend that, of course. No, but I did. I don't know. A Porsche salesman might just go, do you want it? Yeah.
If they take this, they take that.
So you definitely need to be careful, because I'd say that the Porsche dealers, I'd say here in Magdeburg, you really get top-notch advice. I have to be honest, I'm a customer of the place too, and you really get great advice, and they also tell you something cool, but the last lady probably sneaked something by me there. Yeah, in any case, let's stay chronological here. 10.9-inch infotainment display. I find it nicely done. With new tiles, all beautifully colorful, and at last it is now open source too. This means you can add more things later. You have YouTube included, which is important if you want to watch the latest episode of Simply Electric while charging. But we need to be briefer, as 22 minutes is rarely the length of our videos. And optionally, for, I believe, 1.4 kilos, you can also get the passenger display, where you as a passenger can be nicely entertained. There's also a film on it, so when you're driving, as a driver you basically can't see the passenger display. It's significantly better than in my EQS with the hyperscreen, because whenever I glance at you, it turns milky, yes.
Okay, it feels like there's a flicker in front of your eyes.
Well, every time I watch a movie now and you're watching while driving me over, I just can't see anything anymore. Yes. Brilliant invention. Yes, then we have a nice compartment here, and behind that compartment is an inductive charging pad, which can also accommodate a large American smartphone. Just like that again here, so Stefan, or at 126 kilos for an automobile, yes indeed. Yes indeed. Then we have right here, once again, the climate control, which is genuinely quite impressive, don't you think? It's very nice. And over here, the volume knob, which is also pretty awesome, or what I have just witnessed in GT3. Yes, okay. Then we have seat ventilation with 3 levels. That's optional. Then we have this heating, which I believe is even standard in the base model. I was surprised too. Normally Porsche doesn't offer that. You pay. With the Elba it was so. Then there's a large compartment here. My men's bag barely fits. Women's bag is really a squeeze, right?
Yeah, there's still a lot here.
And look, you could have treated yourself to the Porsche ashtray for 55 euros, right?
Can I get it leather covered or maybe even upholstered?
Ask Mrs. Schobel about that.
Very interesting.
In any case, that costs 55 euros and 30 cents extra. And then you have 2 cup holders here where the ashtray is, so to speak. And I have to be honest, look, this is everything here.
Yeah, everything. I don't really want to call it plastic. It's probably some super recycled material, woven from old whale nets, a fine green fabric. That's really good.
Great Amelie lights.
Yeah, it's great.
No, friends, seriously. I mean, that's just my personal opinion, but we have a car here that costs 126 grand. That's not even fully loaded. You can configure it for 150, and then you have such a plastic... Naturally, you can upholster nearly everything here and attach those race tags. Very soon, I'll demonstrate what the configurator got wrong with this vehicle. But I kind of feel like Porsche has this attention to detail. Porsche put so much effort even into the switches. There are engineers who analyze those click sounds. Don't they analyze any land?
Ashamed.
The configurator of this vehicle, also a cool term. Yeah, you can really bash on it even though we don't know it. When you watch the video, I'm telling you, I'll catch your attention here. What exactly is that? So first of all, we have here an electric blind for the panoramic glass sunroof, which you can also open accordingly for I think a good 1,600 euros and a little extra. I think I would treat myself to that.
It's actually quite nice.
Well, in summer, in spring, it's nice.
And especially because you have the blinds, the sun doesn't hit directly, so it doesn't get as hot up there.
So you avoid the stovetop effect.
True.
Yeah, he really treated himself. Look here, race text. Look, this seems to be Alcantara, as the Spaniard would say. But what he forgot, look here, also with sun visor, also nice, also Alcantara. Then he did everything right. Look here, he didn't use leather. I have that in Elba in leather. It's also classy. And then he has the grab handles here, thankfully, for when there's a bit of lateral acceleration. He didn't go with race text for them.
They're nicely in the pavement, the bike path, sorry.
For 833, you can select 4 in race text or 4 in leather. I think mixing race text with leather is really cool. Don't you agree?
Definitely, why not?
So again, you can also sync here 150 and more, so no problem at all. If you need help, just let us know. We'll come over and do it electrically.
We'll tick everything off, no problem at all.
The side view, it reveals again that Porsche hasn't fully maximized the space potential of electric mobility here, because many have a large compartment here where the lady's handbag, the herd bag, or other items fit. There are 2 USB-C ports and a 12-volt socket without a cover. I've grabbed into that before on the Macan 4. I find it a bit of a waste. Because soon some might not need it either. It's always a matter of taste. There's a nice center console we forgot earlier. Stefan can zoom in again. Nicely carpeted. It's deep enough to offer ample space where you can pack plenty of miscellaneous items. But here too, I wish they were adjustable. As you can see, I have good ergonomics here. I'm usually seated comfortably in the rear, right at the bottom of those truly awesome and adaptive sport seats. I don't even know if they come standard, but they're definitely super cool because they provide really awesome thigh support. For our colleague Langer Gretten, you can quite nicely extend the seating bar here, allowing Langer Gretten to have exceptionally proper and adequate seating support. Just look at how amazing this is. I absolutely must own it. For me, it really is an undeniable must-have item. Adaptive sport seats, everyone, give them a try. Treat yourselves because I assure you, it's definitely worth it. Because you have maximum support in the lumbar area here, you have really thick support here at the shoulders, and you have an integrated headrest. The only downside is, with the comfort seats, the comfort function is lost because this part is fixed. But he treated himself, he's a professional, the configurator.
That's logical.
4x Porsche Crest costs around 400 euro extra, and then you can change the seatbelt color here again. You could consider getting the brake pads in a striking red too, which would match perfectly as a vibrant color accent. Indeed, Alcantara ends just here. Beyond this, as you've clearly heard, there's hard plastic. But there should actually also be cladding of the B-pillar in Alcantara or race text at Porsche or leather, just like the door sills, which can be done in leather or in classy Alcantara. When it comes to the door sills, I tell you, opting for the B-pillar is definitely something I would do. Also a must-have, looks awesome. But please skip the door sills as you might get caught with a shoe or your friends with a pump. Then it would be such a pity if it got scratched.
Yeah, that would be a shame.
Did I already show this to the glove box driver? No? Look here. It does, right? Also nicely lined with felt again. And down here there's even more plastic. You know, that used to all be leather in the past, right? So if you've got the passenger display here, just for interior packages like some carbonara or something, right? This hard plastic here, right? Can't get over it, you know? No.
That's somehow just not very Porsche-like.
Look here, also here, so sorry Porsche that I'm doing this. So maybe there's some leathering there. Optionally, there's something for everything, air vents, seatbelt slots and more. Even that can typically be covered with leather here if that's what you want. But I think it's kind of like, I don't want to say plastic bomber, but there is a lot of plastic.
And optionally, we could also press an ISOFIX in here at the front, for example.
Available for 178 euros. So this might be important for you as fathers and mothers. You can get a child ISOFIX mount here for 178 euros. I'm not certain if it's possible together with the adaptive sports seat. Works with comfort seats. To see if it applies to the adaptive sports seat, check it. It's definitely cool for those who need it. 3 times as awesome. I tell you, like the extended rear spoiler.
Perfect type. You can lean back easily and have relaxed conversations.
I noticed the 911 drivers cruising through town with rear spoilers extended. Yeah. Or you park with the counter fully extended, right? It's a real hassle, isn't it? It's pretty handy here, huh?
It's awesome here.
Standing at 1.85 meters tall, fawn-like, weighing a total of 99.9 kilograms, we will now conduct the seating test in the rear of the SUV coupe of the Macan Turbo. And honestly, I must say I'm a bit disappointed. Because in a Skoda Enyaq or ID4, ID5, I felt like I had more space. Or in the Tavascan. I mean, the car is pricier. Yes, we'll have to deal with it because at the back, like me, the air gets thin here, where the air gets thinner. If you're a bit on the heavier side, like me, a little obese, because you tend to always slide your elbow into the cup holder here.
I don't know that there's no other solution.
You just need to make the cup holder extendable, you know, like this, and then you have it nicely cushioned here, because this is softly padded but quite narrow. Then it's just a bit more comfortable. Yes, we have 2 child ISOFIX mounts on the outside, always included in the base with neat plastic caps working smoothly. And then we have ventilation nozzles back here, 2 USB-C ports, a small compartment, and down here the controls, which you can't see right now because the vehicle in front has turned off. For the rear seat heating, which can be added as an option for a bit over 400 euros. Yeah, if you've got the sport seats, you've got this enormous, harder plastic with not much of a soft shell. Not sure, I find it a bit basic. Wonder if it scratches easily, especially with kids.
There, I can already see some scratches on the handle from the side.
And look, then you have this kind of net here. I think optionally for the 11, it costs an extra 6 to have it leather covered. Almost any plastic part in a Porsche 911 can be leather covered. And probably on a Macan too, but in the end, what's our target? Around 200?
Yeah, probably.
So, and let's be honest, when we look at the depreciation of the Taycan LSTM changes, whatever. Yeah, otherwise we have the seatbelt here that wonderfully, as you can hear already, taps against the plastic. So once again, we're in a 126 kilo car. Where the hardest... Yes, the highest quality plastic is used and everything rattles and clatters. See, the logo's cool, huh?
Certainly indeed. Yes. That's really quite all right now.
Friends, let's be honest. Surely there must be some material, be it carpet, felt or synthetic leather, that works for 126 kilos without compromising margins. Where Porsche can also survive long-term, right?
Yes, I agree.
So take another look at your basic calculations to see if that can't be at least an option by the time of the facelift. You could most likely have it elegantly finished in quality leather or have it carefully upholstered with the specialized race tech material. Then we're likely a nice silo for the area too.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, do you know what I forgot? There's a 4-zone climate control for €900.
See,
It certainly makes sense that all 4 can adjust their temperatures, agree?
certainly, with the whole family in the back so the kids don't get fussy.
I'd say outside I showed you everything, inside I showed you everything. Let's get to the driving report. We finally want to release the 639 horsepower in overboost and over 1,000 Newton meters. We set off here in the Macan Turbo and are cruising along this delightful highway, making full use of the Porsche InnoDrive system to really experience the drive with precision and enjoyment. InnoDrive, gas in costs, if I'm not mistaken, €1,600 as an extra, but it provides you with the benefit of assisted driving technology in the sense that you equipped with a steering assistant on board that reliably keeps your vehicle centered in the lane and ensures you receive predictive and adaptive control whenever there are any speed changes or alterations. Predictive means the car knows through the camera, through navigation data, hey, there is a construction site, and subsequently adjusts the speed so that it precisely matches what is indicated on the speed limit sign. If he's going 80, for instance, he hits the 80 sign exactly, and once clear, he speeds up again. This is truly the best and most advanced way to travel electrically in today's world, in my opinion, with semi-autonomous assistance. And I would strongly encourage you to give some thought to considering InnoDrive. In addition, we have the augmented reality head-up display here, which projects not only the speed but also navigation data and guidelines onto the windshield. That means if you recognize another car, you put a green bar underneath it. In case you risk deviating from the lane, draw a visible red line so you can steer away from it. These are valuable tips that are intended to support you in a semi-autonomous way in your daily life, really allowing you to keep your eyes on the road and stay minimally distracted. Lane keeping assist was not activated in the system. I checked it again because I was wondering why it was swerving so much. You see here now the steering assistant is active and it's partially autonomously taking this curve. You have a capacitive steering wheel, meaning 3 fingers on the wheel are enough for it to know you're paying attention. This way, you can drive longer distances semi-autonomously with less stress. We often do this in the Mercedes EQS. It's possible across the VW group, including Volkswagen, Skoda and Audi. They're not called Porsche Indoor Drive, but rather Travel Assist or IQ something. There's always a lovely name for each and every baby.
Okay, yep.
Porsche has thoughtfully dedicated significant effort to enhancing the route and charging plans. They also actively listen to the constructive criticism coming from the Taycan drivers and thoughtfully integrated their feedback into the improved system. Let's try it out by saying, hey Porsche, drive us to Munich to Victualien Markt 1.
Munich, Victualien Markt 1, initiating the route guidance process right now.
You see, it starts immediately. You don't have to type anything, you don't have to choose anything. Look, we're going 30 here and getting past. That's not how Magdeburg folks drive. Then you can clearly see that a corresponding charging plan is in place, also with the indication of how long you'll be charging at each point. From here to Magdeburg, it's 533 kilometers. We have about 60 to 70% in the battery, need 3 charging stops. I think that's all pretty cool. And then you can also customize it here under the charging settings for yourselves, like minimum charge at the destination. If you need more, if you're going somewhere the next day, you can set that up. The same goes for the charging stops if you're maybe a bit more sensitive about that. I think Porsche has introduced many nice new features into the route planning and charging planning, and everything has also become nicely smooth. If you choose not to go for the satellite map, which is quite dependent on mobile reception and data, then everything works very, very smoothly indeed. Since here I believe they used really nice processors, you can now always see where the 300 kilowatt chargers are and how many kilowatts a charger has. So if you want to quickly select a charging station, like with Ionity, you can do that. Click upwards and then navigate there. I think it's good and intuitive.
Definitely, and also easy to use.
The only thing you constantly find yourself wondering is, are these 10.9 inches truly big enough?
Yeah, well, there are just bigger ones. And also whether they are arranged vertically or horizontally, that's another difference.
Everyone now seems to try and outdo one another.
And all grow larger.
Now please turn the page. Go ahead and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you find 10.9 inches sufficient, or does it strike you as rather like a mini display? Started the Draghi, set to Sport Plus, launch control is active. You can 3, 2, 1, go. 0 to 100 in 3.3 seconds, and this machine takes off impressively, unbelievable. We'll do the brake test right away. No one is behind us, the brakes grip. Geez, how fast does this car accelerate? What kind of figures are we talking about?
Well, if I read this out to you, 0 to 100 in 3.46 seconds, 0 to 60 in 1.84, and from 100 to 0 in 3.03.
Guys, seriously, how does Porsche always manage it? We've got winter tires, not ideal for acceleration values. We're on some asphalt, a slight incline on some side road in the Magdeburg countryside where you're allowed to go around 60 miles per hour. And this thing just delivers the values. How awesome is that?
Mega, really. I think we've had that on this track so many times with all the Porsche digital ambassadors. Mega.
All Porsches have always nearly matched the factory specifications, and I'm telling you, if it hadn't been a slight uphill, it would have definitely met or even beaten the factory numbers. And I think that's awesome, even though the car is initially very expensive, with a base price of $114,000 and $126,000 as displayed as we drive it. But in overboost, 639 horsepower, torque madness, power madness, and almost broke the 3.3 just like that from a standstill.
And most importantly, he manages to return to playing again very swiftly.
Exactly. That is naturally also a Porsche maxim, that we have not only a maximally good acceleration in every Porsche. Porsche typically extracts more horsepower compared to other manufacturers, and we will delve into the details regarding suspensions and similar elements as we progress further. However, they consistently include really high-quality brakes in their vehicles, ensuring that you can achieve the maximum possible deceleration when needed. It's crucial when you have a 639 horsepower beast to be able to stop effectively. Absolutely. And I have to tell you, it's so awesome. You just drive out of an exit and this thing just rockets you away completely. Yes, so the thing is just all about pure propulsion. You don't even get the feeling or sense that you're actually sitting in an electric SUV. Sports car drivers would say, in a tank. No, it's just that the thing, with its 2.4 tons, feels as if it's not even there. Because this thing has so much torque, so much power on the axles with the 2 electric motors. That's just crazy. We didn't even have launch control, just 584 horsepower. And this thing roars like there's no tomorrow. I mean, sure, I'm a bit Porsche inclined and have been driving Porsche for over 20 years. But I would also, and you have noticed that, criticize Porsche for material mixes, or if it simply wouldn't get anywhere close to achieving that acceleration. True, right? Yes.
Exactly.
But the problem with these Porsche derivatives is simply that they always deliver and perform. There's really little to criticize, especially about performance, right?
Not at all, truly.
And that's where we are when it comes to steering. We have a very, very direct steering here. That almost kind of reminds me of an Elber. And we also don't have a launch here. We have the high quality air suspension, of course, equipped with the PASM, which stands for Porsche Active Suspension Management, allowing us to adjust the dampers across multiple stages. We are still in Sport Plus mode. It's all really intense. There's also Sport, Normal, and Off-Road for those into refined off-roading, because there might be a few who takes a Macan into light off-roading.
Exactly.
We want to measure the interior noise with you at 50 kilometers per hour. ...55, 57 Dezibel zum Vergleich. Der Macan 4 ohne Doppelverglasung hat ja 60, 61. That means the double glazing yields 3-4 decibels. 70. ...55, 60 Dezibel. Ähnlich. Auch wieder 3-4 Dezibel weniger und wir fahren 100. ...64, 65 decibels, that's also a very good value. Others reach the mid-70s decibels. You've really got to say that this heat and sound insulating glass, I believe, does pay off in the long run if you drive such a car for a longer time.
All right, yes.
The song is clearer and more pronounced in the highs and mid frequencies. With the Macan 4, it stressed me out a bit because it wasn't that clear, but maybe it's also due to the song selection. An additional feature beyond the Bose system would be the option of a Burmester sound system. That's 4,700 euros more than the base model, and if I remember right, it weighs roughly 3 kilos over the Bose system. For audio enthusiasts, I would definitely recommend checking out Burmester. I love it. I need that too because I really like to listen to louder music on the highway outside the city or something. And of course, Burmester is clearly impressive in all areas.
Yes, totally.
But I think Bose is pretty dope, right?
You really should have seen it at least once.
What's crucial with a 4.78 meter long SUV is also ensuring that you are able to park it properly. I believe the Macan offers a rear view camera as standard, or optionally, as we have on board here, the camera system, where you also have nice guidelines to make sure you don't scratch those nice 21 or 22-inch wheels on the curb. That's obviously a great feature, especially with the guideline in front, so you know where you're going if you don't have a good steering feel, and where you also have some truly impressive side views from various angles to perhaps assist you in getting a little closer to the curb and better understand its precise position. You have a trailer mode available if you have a tow hitch, and you can clean the rear view camera here accordingly. To keep it clear and functional, well, I think it's all a nice story, yeah. The only thing that I kind of miss here is, you used to be able to do a full 360 degrees earlier. Am I not finding it, or doesn't he have it, or what's up here?
Perhaps it really wasn't there.
Yeah, what's really crucial is having a panoramic view at the front, particularly when exiting a narrow driveway, or at the back, so that, ideally, you have a comprehensive 180-degree view. So you don't end up bumping into something. Therefore, I believe that with this 360 degrees view, camera system operated optimally, right?
Yes, I think you're fully into it.
And I think there's even an optional parking assistant that somehow does the parking for you. But to be really honest, I personally find these systems all just a bit too slow. The Porsche Macan has a turning circle of 12.1 meters. We installed the 5-degree rear axle steering for just over 1,800 euros, and these 5 degrees shave off 1 meter from the turning circle, which is, of course, in urban environments, I believe. What's quite interesting, you also see compared to the Macan 4 that here around Stefan, I come a bit narrower at the same spot. And they also offer you performance advantages. This means, depending on the driving speed, they steer with or against to naturally shorten the radii or even to enhance performance. So, if you're aiming to drive efficiently with such a turbo, you really should consider the rear axle steering if it wasn't already standard, don't you think?
For anyone uncertain about some aspects, it's definitely wise.
In urban environments, a meter is really a lot.
Certainly.
I would have loved to blast down the highway with you and show you a top speed of 260 kilometers per hour and maybe use the Draghi to measure 100 to 200 again. But you can see that the traffic here doesn't really allow for anything, except for, once again, a very nice graphic where you can also see the intelligence of the Porsche InnoDrive can detect. So you can nicely see how the car stays centered in the lane even at the edges. You can observe the other road users very well visualized, as it sort of illustrates what the systems actually perceive. And I think it also transfers trust to the semi-autonomous area. Or what do you think? Yes.
More and more. You know me? I'm always a bit cautious because I don't fully trust it. Yet, the more I frequently engage with it, the more trust and confidence I find myself building within the entire system.
Exactly, especially on a long journey such as when you're possibly driving to regions by the Adriatic Sea or something similar. I personally think it can be immensely relaxing and help ensure that you remain awake for a longer period, stays fresher for longer periods, and can travel in a much more comfortable and semi-autonomous manner. Naturally, we would like to attempt trying it again with you, but this time in the reverse direction. And now at full acceleration in Sport Plus mode, you can see clearly that at 120, 140, it instantly propels forward with impressive power and accelerates really forcefully in this stretch here. Yeah, the Golf is sort of blocking us here now because it's not overtaking the other one any faster. Otherwise, we could have demonstrated that to you in a full acceleration run. Unfortunately, the traffic here simply doesn't allow for it. That's why I think we're just not always fully focused on electromobility. maximum power, as we can't really go fast on the roads anyway. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Because the Golf driver, they simply don't recognize that there are cars out there which are faster, but they just cruise comfortably past the other road users around here. But now we can definitely accelerate quite nicely once more. 200, and then it truly pushes forward significantly well over here. Stop at 220, 230, 240, 250, and we're showing you the top speed here with over 200 kilometers per hour. 60 Kilometer pro Stunde im Macan. P270. Aber jetzt müssen wir natürlich für die Sicherheit die Geschwindigkeit deutlich senken, da er durchaus auch mal einen LKW überholen könnte. And you can really see just how crucial it is to have high quality brakes to slow down from 270 with a substantial safety margin, ensuring everything is under control. There's plenty of traffic around the Magdeburg area, so we will be exiting the highway together. And with Stefan's popometer, we slowly but surely get to the driving and travel comfort, right?
Yeah, but before we do that, I've at least grabbed a little value here during the round. Our complete total time was ungefähr 9,6 Sekunden to accelerate from 200 all the way up to 250. I think that's probably not too bad now, right? In the higher range then.
Yeah, colleague Golf kind of messed up the other values a bit. But anyway, that's just how it is with traffic. You can't choose it. But now we really want to hear, Stefan, what does your popometer say as a neutral institution for ride and travel comfort?
So we have these great sports mattresses here. I really feel very well cushioned. So honestly speaking, it's pretty amazing. Given that the car does have some performance, it doesn't really bother you getting tossed around a little bit. Great side support, excellent thigh support. In my opinion, the suspension feels very much like a Porsche, being both super comfortable and sporty at the same time. Yeah, it's truly superb.
But also especially the spread with the pass, and we just had Sport Plus where it was nice and tight. Now we've switched over to comfort mode where it becomes noticeably more smooth. It provides very direct steering capability, and I must say for me personally, it would truly be an incredibly awesome type of suspension configuration because I just like it tight if I were to drive some trains through here. Think about our big club nature when we race up those switchbacks. You simply need a sporty firm suspension for that. But if you just want to glide to the Großglockner, those 900 kilometers, you don't want to feel every bump and jolt. In my honest opinion, Porsche excels at skillfully balancing sporty firmness with everyday comfort, making it a perfect blend of performance and practicality in every drive. That's why I think I'd be willing to pay the corresponding extra for such an air suspension. Whoever doesn't want that does have the option of going with the steel suspension or the steel suspension with PSM. Then just stay like that. So I think Porsche offers a good selection with 3 suspensions, I believe.
There must be something for everyone.
And that's the beauty of it when you take a swift corner here. It consistently stays perfectly on track here. There's no squeaking at all. So you can genuinely revel in some powerful bass and let a Macan soar gracefully through the air. I think at some point we also need to do a road trip with a Macan like we did with the Taycan 4 Cross Turismo, don't you agree?
Sure, okay.
Maybe the Porsche Center Magdeburg will have to provide us with another car like that. Let's move forward to the final conclusion with the Porsche Macan Turbo. To start, let's talk in depth about the key highlights of the Macan 4. It's really quite an obvious stark difference, isn't it?
Yes, sure.
Those 200 extra horsepower in a weight of 2.4 tons definitely make a very big difference.
Quite so.
The real question is, do you actually need it? And can you truly afford to carry around 30 kilos? Mark up whether it genuinely makes sense. Because a Macan is essentially more of a cruiser at heart, where you leisurely drive around in comfort, head out on vacations with your family, and just enjoy life and the sort of lifestyle that comes with owning a Macan. Do I really need 584 horsepower? Probably not. So that means I would personally probably lean towards the Macan 4 and maybe have a second car like I currently do. A true sports car then, yes.
Exactly, just to provide a bit of contrast.
Exactly. That should always be considered, of course, with the understanding that it is economically viable and, above all, that it holds economic value. Yes. So, with the Macan Turbo, I think it's something where you want to stand out from the other Macan customers. That's why Porsche has beautifully crafted a special front section and a unique rear layout, and created this turbo knit as a distinctive color choice. so that in the end, you can immediately recognize that this is truly someone who loves this Macan and is willing to pay that extra 30,000 euros for the additional performance and different design. For that, I think he gets a very, very sporty car with brutal acceleration, 3.3 seconds to 100. That's what old 911 turbos could do. These are top values. 260, 270 top speeds are just, it's at a sports car level. So there are definitely quite significant differences. And in the end, you really need to determine whether you want a Macan that's high performance oriented, or if you're more interested in having something that functions as a daily cruiser. I think that's where it differs the most.
I think so too.
Because the car you see here is truly just, well, quite incredibly awesome, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, it's definitely a lot of fun for sure.
The only thing I really have to criticize Porsche, seriously, that's not okay, is all these plastic parts. I find it really sad. I just don't understand why they're doing that. Of course, they want to make more money and have a higher profit margin. That's all fair enough. But ultimately, I believe, just speculating here, leave a comment if you see it differently. Every Porsche driver like me would rather pay more and not have it, right?
Definitely, yes.
We have returned to the Porsche Center Magdeburg, and sadly, it is time for us to finally say goodbye to the Porsche Macan Turbo once again. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. Please check again if you're part of the einfach electric community. If not, we'd really appreciate your support through a subscription. That would be a big help. It's free and it offers the possibility that you can also get the latest videos about electromobility from us in the future. Didn't miss it? I'm curious how you'll rate the video. Feel free to write it in the comments. A huge thank you for watching, and I really hope we see each other again sometime soon. What do you think, Stefan? I still don't know what you prefer. Fries counter out or fries counter in?
Well, I prefer it clean here. Now look.
You can lean comfortably against the thigh here. Yes?
That's possible, but I prefer clean. I like it without.
Somehow it's plain, without a shark fin, without... Yeah, it's great. Without a rear wiper, and then...
You've also got the hinges on the tailgate and all. They're all neatly hidden. They're not bulging out or anything unsightly. I really think that's incredibly awesome.
We'd love for you to comment below and share. Are you team spoiler out or in when you're parking? See you later.